Look at this. I got headphones on. I got a mic going. Baby.
If
Huh?
only people could see you now.
Hey, no video. We've gone through this before.
All right,
No
all right,
video.
all right. Welcome to This Commerce Life. This is a podcast aimed at small, medium entrepreneurs focused on commerce. I'm Phil, your host, and Kenny, your co-host, will join us as well. And we're going to talk to you about the world of retail and commerce and how things are changing in the world.
Hey Phil, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
Not bad, not bad. Nice to meet you.
Excellent. Yeah, nice to meet you too. I've heard lots about you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome.
Not from me.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Hey Kenny,
Yeah.
what's doing?
Not much. My camera's not working.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm logging
You're
off my
not here.
computer
Ah,
too.
you look like you're in a really fancy space. Are you?
It's so first of all, I just cranked out a jog because I was finished,
Yeah.
like getting on at 10 p.m. I was like, I'm gonna slow,
Yeah.
But so I cranked out a quick 10-minute
Yeah.
on the treadmill, and no, this is my new my garage.
Okay.
So we
Okay.
during like when we got the house, it was like a decrepit garage with like mold in it, and you can't
Yeah.
access it from the street.
Yeah.
So we just blocked off the door, and I've got
Yeah.
like, I mean, it's not much, but I've got like a treadmill here. I've got
Yeah.
a boxing bag thing
Perfect.
that I never
Perfect, though.
use.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah.
And
That's a nice size.
I did the same thing. So I've been
Yeah,
Wednesdays and Thursdays are like just killer days for me, right? So I was
yeah,
I've been on since 8:30 this morning, and we finished. I think I talked to Kenny last like 90 minutes ago. So I jumped on.
nice.
I just pulled out a 30-minute run.
It's a must.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
must.
yeah. You just
So,
need it to clear your head, right? Like it's just
yeah, for me, it's like I can go from being like slouched out, and then you're dialed after a run. It's a little
yeah,
bit
yeah,
like
yeah,
it's like I don't know, like an energy rush or something,
yeah, yeah.
Just get everything
Where
working, right?
you're in Toronto though, right?
Yeah,
What did
I
you say
am.
again?
Yeah,
Okay.
You like to get everything running, get everything moving, right?
yeah,
It gets it moving. It gets it moving. It's
yeah, yeah,
it's the move, and I've been doing it like before, like any line review. I've just been like, I don't know, like even like a quick jog around the
yeah,
block or around the office,
yeah, yeah,
And I don't know. I've noticed like it's a 12 on 10 difference in performance.
yeah. Yeah, I
Um,
hear you. I
yeah.
hear you.
But
Yeah.
Phil, I'm just in the lobby on my computer just because you guys are on my
Oh,
mobile and it's really small. So
sorry,
if you
sorry.
let
Yeah,
me know,
yeah, of course.
I can see you
I didn't
guys,
see you. Let me
see the
just
beautiful faces.
swap you out
No
there.
worries.
Hey, easy on that one. Take it easy.
I know. Well, Kenny, I haven't seen you in a few years.
I haven't seen you probably since, oh my God, last closeout, which
It's
with
yeah, I
Lana
know.
Drugs. My last
It's like
closeout,
yeah, seriously, it's got to
2016?
be 2016. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I was scoping out the LinkedIn to see how long ago it
Yeah.
was. And it's insane.
It's been a long time. A
I
long
know.
time.
It's been well. First of all, like at baseline, we haven't seen anyone in 2 years. Like we realized it. So
Yeah.
it was my
True.
birthday yesterday, and
Oh, happy birthday.
and
Happy birthday.
thank you guys. Thank you.
Or
Thank
happy
you.
belated
And
birthday.
happy belated, yeah. And so the office made like they made like a roast presentation to me, which was kind of cringe, but whatever. But what I noticed, I'm like, why are all these pictures so old? Like it looked like they don't even know me, but it's because who's taking pictures in 2 years?
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
nothing's
yeah.
happened,
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's
Yeah.
it's like we're all re-emerging from bomb shelters. Is
Yeah,
kind of
seriously.
the
It's
yeah.
I know. I mean, have
And
you
then
guys
trying
been
to,
like traveling at all or no? Like have you guys moved around or not really? No?
I think I have. Like, so I've been
Yeah.
out. Kenny and I work with a client out in Vancouver, so I've been out.
Nice. Right.
I guess a couple of times. Like,
3
I've been out
times?
there every two to 3 months. So I guess I've been out there twice or three times now, I think.
2 or 3 times. I can't remember which.
Yeah, something like that. So I've been on a plane. I've done some moving. We're about to vacation in earnest in March, I think. So that'll
Where's
be
Ernest?
kind of cool. So we're going to Hawaii.
Oh, sweet.
I take my
Okay.
kids. We're
That
going
was
to
bad.
Hawaii.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Ernest,
Yeah, I don't know where
North
Ernest
Dakota.
is. I'm sure there's a place called Ernest, but
That's my idiocy.
yeah,
But
yeah,
that's
yeah,
good though,
yeah.
So you're going to Hawaii. That's gonna be wild.
It'll
It's a must.
be yeah. The girls are stoked. We were there like 7 years ago, and so it
Nice.
just worked out, and we thought we got to go somewhere that we need some beach, we need some sun,
Me
some
too.
water.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the kids. Since I knew you, I had two kids. So
Wow, how old are the kids?
One's like 3.5. They're all COVID babies. It's like 3.5, and the other one's like a year and a half or something.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, it's been something, but they haven't seen the world, so like, yeah, I'd like to take them somewhere,
Yeah.
It'd be nice.
They're still young though. It doesn't, you can wait another 2 years. So.
You look pretty good for a young dad, man. You don't have any bags in the eyes.
I'm fried,
you're
guys.
looking,
I'm totally fried.
Yeah.
It's the jog. Without the jog, it's night and day. I'm telling you.
You're hiding in the garage.
Yeah, exactly.
Give me that bullshit. If you hide in the garage, you're not doing anything with the kids or the wife. No kidding, you look great.
Yeah. I can crank the music here. I can do whatever I want.
I just heard there's no access from the road. I'm thinking, no kidding, you're in a man cave.
Yeah, it's a man cave. At the end of the day, it's a man cave.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what'd you have? A little boy, girl, what?
I had Henry's he's 3.5, and and then a girl. So I've got one of each, and it's the best.
It's a game changer, right?
Yeah, it's a game changer, and but it's been tough with COVID. Like, I imagine it's a lot harder in COVID than not, because I don't know, the people helping, and just like, in the beginning we didn't really know what was going on, right? So like, it was sketch, and then
we have three, right? Like mine are like, I'm closer to Kenny, right? Like, so my oldest is 20, and then my middle is 15. So my oldest is boy, and then the two girls are 15 and 14. But I can't imagine, like, so 3, we were able to manage, when they were young, but I couldn't. If we tried to do that during COVID, I'd probably lose my job, or
you could lose it.
You know what I mean? Like, you just, like, I don't know how I would actually manage all of that.
I don't know how people did it.
Yeah.
The only the only way we could do it is because we could afford a nanny. Like, without a nanny,
you can't do it.
I'd be out of business. Openly out of business. There's just no way. It's impossible.
There's a lot of work. I mean, there's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Tons of work, and they're the best, but it's you can't think. You're like, your head turns to mush a bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Wait.
Well, and at that, like, at that age, they're physically demanding, right? So it's not even like to be able to just sit still and have a Zoom call. Like, you got to do a business call. It just doesn't work, right? Like, you gotta. Like, it's kind of crazy. So
I was on the phone with someone from Hasbro the other day, and like, he's telling me like some big news about like something that we're getting, and my son's in the back seat, and he's just like, Daddy, what's with this parking spot, Daddy? Like, it's too funny,
But people are used to it, right?
Yeah. Oh, everyone's used. That's the best.
People are used to it. Changed. Yeah, whatever. Like, if you did a couple years ago, people would be pissed off about the kids. Yeah. Now it's like the kids are on, everybody's waving. How are the kids doing? Yeah. Now there's meetings where the kids come on, they say hi, right? They know you.
That's business for the better, though, right? Like, there's a human side to that, like,
absolutely.
It's nice, right? So
I like seeing
it broke. Yeah, I agree, and it broke down everything. I got to go to the bus, to get my kid. I got to go. Like, it broke down a lot of barriers, which is good. Kenny, your son's what, 20, 21 now, 22?
No shit, my daughter's 26 in May, and he just turned 24 in December.
Oh, wow, okay, so I'm a bit.
I got adults. I mean, it's a whole different set of worries, right?
Yeah. True.
Now there's no more like, you're worrying about them doing shit. It's now there's financial worries. You want to
right?
Okay, can they buy houses or whatever they want to do?
Vancouver, good luck.
Well, that's the thing, right? So we're a whole different world out here, right?
Oh,
but it's all good. I mean, you know what? It's all good.
I've been coaching his boy on how to put Kenny in a home so he can take Kenny's home.
I like that.
And I've been telling my boy, I'll spend every penny before that happens.
I know.
So you can put me in any home you want. I don't give a shit. There'll be nothing left.
I love it.
You want to play that game?
I know. I hear you. You're into comics or what? I didn't know you were into comics and all that.
I collect lots of stuff. Comics, I don't necessarily collect a lot.
Nice.
But I do a lot of coins. I do cards. I do paper money. I've got pens all over the floor right now. Like, I got just shit everywhere.
Love that. I love it.
I do. You know what? And COVID's been awesome for it because it rekindled. I've been collecting shit since I've been 12, right? So I've been doing this for 40 years. I like things,
right?
No, this really pumped it up.
Yeah, I know.
Because everybody's home.
Exactly. You're home. There's nothing else to like do with your money, right? So like, you buy things.
Well, you can't travel. I mean, we're traveling. Like, Phil, like we're heading off to Mexico on Saturday, so day after tomorrow.
Oh, really?
For 9 days. Then we get back for a week or so, and then we're going to go to Vegas for 4 days because we haven't done anything since 2020.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I gotta get out. It's you start to lose it. Well, actually, it was funny. I had a licensor of ours who he's from Florida, and
I say, oh, you're Montrealers. Don't you guys all go to Florida?
We do, but it's been hard because you can't go with the kids in the quarantine, the daycares. It's just such a mess. But
geez, keep forgetting that.
It's a joke. But anyways, so he's like, I'm coming out. He's like, I'm going on a ski trip in Vermont, and I'm like, where in Vermont? Like, how high up? And he's like, oh, this place called Stowe, but Stowe is 2 hours from us. So I actually went down to meet him. So it was my first day off, and I don't know, it felt great. We snowboarded. I haven't been boarding in like 8 years. I don't know what happened to me. Like terrible,
you had
but it felt so good.
Along the way.
No, but you get married, the business changed. You got lots of other things going on the go.
Yeah, it's like, what happened, But it felt good. And the muscle memory comes back pretty quick with that stuff. I was pretty I was shit, but it was fun.
You know what I don't love? I was out in Tremblant over the holidays, and you just realize like I run 3 times a week, right? So you're like, I'm pretty good shape. I haven't skied in a while. You do the first third of the hill, and you're just like, wow, I gotta stop for a minute. Like, my legs are burning, everything's burning. You're like, oh, no, this is terrible. Like, this never used to happen. I don't understand what's happening now, right? So
I know. So I lay down on the hill, and someone's like, dude, that's a really bad place to stop. I'm like, I can't move.
I don't care.
It was so bad.
I don't care.
Yeah, they're gonna have to go around me.
Yeah, go around.
Just put some cones up. I'm good.
Not massively interested. Not massively interested.
Oh, that's amazing.
Kenny, good in the hood.
Kenny, do you want to do an intro?
Yeah. Sure. So tonight we have Casey Karls on our show. So I'd met Casey, I'm going to say probably 12 years ago, maybe 15. I don't know if it was that long, probably 12, somewhere in there. And we met at going to the closeout shows in Vegas. These guys with this, it was family, right?
Family business, yeah.
So the family business, they were buying and selling lots of toys, but other things. And then we even met up in Hong Kong, I think, once or toy. We met up in
Hong Kong, yeah. And Kenny, I don't know if you remember exactly how we met at the ASD show.
Okay, you gotta have to tell me. I don't remember anything.
But so it basically, actually, the first time we met was New York Toy Fair, and he came by my booth, and I just see this guy with all these tattoos on his arm, and I'm like, who is that? And I stopped him, and there was a tall guy and another guy. Anyway, so then I guess it was like a month and a half later at ASD, the vendors get in an hour before the buyers. And I ended up walking in, but I saw that you were in line.
That's right.
And I ended up coming out to give you a badge and saying, hey, I remember your face from.
It was me and Dan, probably.
It was you and Dan, yeah.
It was me and Dan.
Yeah, and that was it.
Yeah,
that's what kindled it.
And that was it.
That's
so
amazing.
we got to know each other, and I bought some stuff off him over the time that before I left. And then I thought, for you, what we thought would be cool is because you've been in an interesting business for quite some time. I know you're still doing some stuff within the space. So we kind of thought, little history of what you're doing, what you've done, why you're still in it, because it's a tough space, right? But I was curious to see what COVID had done to it. And I know you're into some of the games and stuff, which probably exploded because nobody else couldn't go anywhere anyway. So it was more kind of curiosity. And plus I haven't seen you, so what the hell? And you know what? Your brother gets way too much attention. Way too much attention.
I saw you guys call him the Justin Timberlake. I almost puked when I saw it. I was going through it. I said Justin Timberlake. Holy smokes!
Did we make things worse for you? We apologize.
Yeah. No.
But that's why we're not going to say his name. See, notice we're not saying his name.
Yeah, I know.
He's going to get no credit tonight. It's
no airtime.
He gets a little
Zero.
Credit. He gets a little credit today because so basically they're getting rid of all their office furniture, and I got 8 desks today from their office. I went to go pick up. So so that was good. So a little bit of credit for him. But
still closing them out. What are you doing? You going to sell them now?
Yeah, I'll flip them.
Absolutely.
But they're great quality desks. But anyways,
that's awesome. And hey, listen, one more thing. So I hear there was a family feud.
Yes.
I saw the picture.
Yes.
But I don't know if I saw you there.
So I was invited, but
were you though?
Yeah.
Was that the story you're going with? Were you? Because I'm your brother's not on. I don't care, eh?
They were begging me, but this crazy industry, it's so busy sometimes that you just literally can't get a break, and you're just I couldn't go to the tryouts, and but they would have I can't say how they did, but they would have done better. They would have done better if I was there.
Exactly. Okay.
Yeah. Anyways.
So that's our story. That's how we met, Phil. So
that is amazing.
Casey, the show's yours now. Light her up. Tell us whatever you want. Let's go. Yeah. Dying to see what you're doing.
Cool. So we've been busy. So I started Wilder Toys about 3 years ago, and I would say when we started it, I didn't really know what we were going to do. Just, threw some ideas at the wall, what makes the most sense, started going down the path. And then we started in like mid-Jan and, wanted to get product out by Christmas. So we ended up going with the thing that made the most sense and, kind of got the best reaction. And it happened to be a game. So that's what kicked us off in the game industry. And obviously, we had a lot of contacts in the space, which made things easier. And since then, we've added quite a bit of games. But so we launched this. Our first game we launched was called Bad Aim, and it was basically we were looking at the card game space, and everything was kind of stagnant, right? Cards Against Humanity, What Do You Mean? All kind of just sitting around a table, not very active. So we said, well, could we add a little bit of activity and competition to it? And basically, did something where you were actually using Nerf blasters to shoot at the cards, and it was kind of like a drunken shootout battle party type game. So Target picked it up, which was awesome.
That's amazing.
And so that's the first good part, right? So you're slapping high fives and everything, shipping it in, things are going good. And then one of the problems with the toy industry that we'll get into later is just you've got essentially 3 weeks to sell for your goods, and you either make it or break it in those 3 weeks. And it was a non-branded game, without quite a large following, and it didn't do so well. So, we're sitting there January with our sort of our pride in our hands and like, what are we going to do? And then basically switch the strategy a little bit to more of licensed games, so going after, fan bases and tribes that are already there. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with like Impractical Jokers. You guys know that show?
Yep.
So actually, the Impractical Jokers is my wife's idea. We were just driving around and she's like, hey, like you should do a game with the Jokers. And kind of a crazy thing, because if you're familiar with Jokers, it's all about like pranking and not the people who not knowing that you're pranking them, right? So how do you turn that into a game, right?
Yeah.
So we had to really think on that, and we signed them, and that was a really, really big success. So that was cool. And basically what was really awesome about that was actually part of the success. And that was rather than, I find today it's all about, what is the story and, getting the buyers to really be behind you and how do you stand out?
Yeah.
So with that game, rather than just telling people that we had the game, like when we were actually in the line reviews, we actually pranked the buyers, which was insane. So Kenny, you'll love this. You would have freaked if you were there. So we're at Toy Fair. Okay. It's sick. So we're literally pitching, like, we had Bad Aim, obviously. We had 2 other games. So we pitched our first 3 games, and then our third game was so we're like, here's our third game, and it's called Family Strip Poker. So we literally had a mock-up of a box that was Family Strip Poker. It was a family on there, and the little baby and everyone. And we said, oh well, don't worry, it's not real strip poker. You've got hand towels included to cover your parts. Obviously, you're not going to get naked with your family, and there's chips and cards in there. And basically the buyers were like freaking out. They're like, this is crazy. And then we drew back the curtain. We're like Impractical Jokers. They fell to the floor. They literally fell to the floor. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah. That was wild. So much so that like one of the big 3 retailers actually asked us to send them the Family Strip Poker box to pitch their DMMs on it.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Anyways, and stop me if I'm being too technical with terms. Like, I forget the word.
No, we're good.
No, it's a retail show. It's all good.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. So you've been at this 3 years? Because you've got the Jokers, and then you've got Hot Ones too, right? Truth or Dab.
Yeah. Do you know Hot Ones? You guys know the show Hot Ones, the YouTube show?
Yeah, I do.
So
yeah.
It's a crazy show. It's by Complex Media, amazing people, by the way. And they basically looked at the interview format with celebrities, and they're like, okay, like, you ask a celebrity an awkward question, what do? They're trained, they're media trained. They just avert the question and give you some weird answer that no one's like, what? You didn't answer the question, right? Yeah. So they created a new format that's called Hot Ones, Truth or Dab, which basically it's very simple. You have a choice to either answer the question that you're being asked, or if you don't want to answer it, no problem. Don't give us some conjured up answer. Take a dab of a chicken wing into extremely spicy hot sauce. So what that does is it's 2 million Scovilles of heat, And essentially, it's like the audience wins because you get Gordon Ramsay, you get Justin Timberlake there dipping it in the sauce, and eventually he starts sweating and it breaks him down, right?
For sure.
So that was
Buddy,
wild.
It's Kenny. I can't believe you haven't watched this. Like, it is hilarious to watch. Like, they are just like they get really big stars on it too. Like they are not, and these guys. Like, I'm surprised that stars come onto this show and like do this thing, right? Like, it's
insane. It's a full insane breakdown. Like, you can come in as prepared as you want, but when that heat hits you, like, you're finished. And the questions are meant to corner you, right? So what's crazy about that game, and you know, Kenny, and I think Phil used to be a bar too, right? So you appreciate this too.
Yeah.
So we actually ship the hot sauce in the game, which is insane. So it's a perishable item. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It actually includes the hot. So we have that in the toy aisle, which, as you can imagine, is a whole slew of issues, right? To get that through, you know, all the DCs and the treatment, because it's not a food department, right? So that's been a crazy thing for us. And we're not, you know, we buy the hot sauce from the exclusive, you know, maker of it. But that's been a whole interesting thing.
And it's the same hot sauce as what they use on the show, or
exactly?
Wow.
It's insane. I should have sent you guys it before the game, but
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I've seen some of these guys.
I like heat, but I'm not doing 2 million.
2 million's insane.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah. You know, you get a couple 100,000 and it's already, you're there. I ain't gonna go there.
I have no idea how they get these people on the show. Like, Seth Rogen's been on the show.
Yeah.
Like, they've had all these, like, Gordon Ramsay's been on the show, and you just watch them like melt, right? Because these guys are like, I'm not answering. They dip the wing, and then it's like everything changes, right? It's like they hallucinate a little, and then it's amazing.
You're finished. You could choke up. I can't honestly. I mean, I could barely smell it because the smell like gets me to like cough. You know, it's insane.
Funny.
So that's been really fun, and it's fascinating to see what they've done with the brand. So I mean, they just launched this week, not through us, but just through themselves. And you guys would be interested in this, but they launched a chicken bite in the frozen food department.
No way.
So that's at Walmart nationwide. So like, it's interesting when you walk the aisle to see what's going on in that space too. You know, I saw some White Castle burgers, like, just, you know, how how the food aisle is really changing with entertainment too. So that was cool.
So how's the toy business like? It's particularly because it's kind of like you're not a like you were talking about Hasbro, like you're not a Hasbro, so you don't have, you know, kind of like young kid toys, and these tend to be more social type games.
Adult, exactly.
Yeah.
But how does that work during COVID? Right?
Yeah.
So a couple things. One, to handle the COVID part first. COVID's been obviously great for gaming. Games, the category shot up like crazy over COVID. Games and puzzles, obviously one of the major winners. And actually created a surgence of 2-player games, right? Which didn't really exist much before. So, you know, if you're stuck at home and, you know, you and your wife want to play, there wasn't many 2-player games. So there was a bit of a demand surge in that. But yeah, for us, it was really good. I mean, it cleaned up, you know, some games that maybe would have had some markdown exposure. It actually got rid of it, right? Because the demand shot up so high and the stock was so low. But no, for us, it's been good. But the toy industry in general, I mean, it's a crazy industry because you always have to reinvent yourself. You know, there's the guys that have like the evergreen toys that, you know, year after year are there, and we're trying to, you know, add more of that to our line.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you a bit about that, but you're constantly reinventing. Season after season, you're reinventing, and especially in like the trend-based games, it's always what's hot, what's trending in pop culture, who's the first to get it, and it's a race.
That's an interesting side of it too, though, because when you're talking evergreen, you know, evergreen is your Hasbro's, Mattel's, Spin Master, maybe, I guess, whatever, like, you know what I mean?
But a handful of franchises.
But it's not a lot of a lot of those type of things.
You've got Barbie in there, you've got a handful that,
but that's one company, right? You're back to Lego.
One company, one line, right?
Exactly.
Not even
exactly.
You know.
So how do you so we're like, where do you get the ideas then? Is it like literally like your example, now you and the wife are driving around, you're thinking, okay, that might be cool. Like, because this is not like, I don't think people appreciate how many toys don't make it.
Exactly.
Like, it's ridiculous how much fails versus how much pops. People think it's easy peasy.
Oh yeah, it's extremely hard. So I would say, like, for one, we're kind of lucky that our team, we have the ideas coming at us left, right, and center, internally and externally, and it's almost like, for us, it's actually knowing what to say no to, recently. So we're blessed in that sense. But the curse is that when you're always, making new things and going after new things, it's almost the chaos never ends, right? It never ends. You're always worried. What am I not thinking about? What can go wrong? But yeah, totally, Kenny. And not only do a lot of products not make it to the shelf, but also when they get to the shelf, if you took a snapshot of the game aisle or any toy aisle, year over year, and just to see the turnover of like what didn't make it the next year, right? Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
But I bought it, remember?
Yeah, right. I know.
So I would buy truckloads in the spring of what didn't make it last Christmas at ridiculous prices to then sell at massive discounts, right? That's what you did.
I know. It's crazy. It's exactly truckloads. It's crazy. But the ideas can come from anywhere. I mean, Hot Ones, for example, how that came, is we were trying to market our other game, and we said, oh, how good would it be? We were kind of looking for, like, what YouTube channels we can put it on and who could we collaborate with, and we're like, oh, well, how cool would it be to be on Hot Ones? And I'm like, guys, that's a game. Mm-hmm. I'm like, that's a game. So once it hits you, it's like super obvious. And then we go pretty grassroots to try and get to these people and find them, and then we bust our ass to kind of pitch them and wow them and kind of show them how the concept can extend to the home. So
wow,
yeah. But yeah, and then another thing that people don't realize about the toy industry is there's a huge inventor community. So there's these inventors, which they're exactly like you see in the movies. These guys just invent all day, and what they do is they pitch toy companies, and they make a royalty. So they'll run you through like a slew of like 90 ideas, and oftentimes you got to like really tell them, hey, this is what we're looking for, give us something here, and they'll pitch you an idea, and you can sign it and lock it up for X%. And that's a whole business, and these guys make a good living doing that. At least
it's like the better ones. You're talking about it. I get visions of like a Mad Men,
yes,
like the Mad Men ad campaign, kind of pitches.
It's scrappier. It's a lot scrappier than that. Even like This is like hardcore. Like sometimes you'll see like papers everywhere in the background, and the videos are super scrappy. There's sketches. There's this. There's that. Really hardcore prototypes, but that's what it is. And it's fun, but it's overwhelming a little bit too. There's just so many ideas, and you could spend all year. I mean, there's a person at Hasbro who said that they review about 3,000 ideas a year. So
that's
crazy.
Insanity.
One person, insanity. Yeah,
it's an interesting. It's kind of a unique profile, right? Because like in a lot of industries, you do, cosmetics, like you're formulating, but it's not the same, right? It's almost like Kenny. It's almost like it's like being a buyer on the other side, right? As you're getting pitched ideas, and you're thinking about,
it's a reverse.
Does this fit in my lineup? Like, is this something that I can pitch? Can I see commercializing this? What are like, it's somewhat unique, actually. I don't know how many other.
It's a wicked industry. It was the most fun I had buying toys. Like it was just fun. It really was.
Agreed. Everyone says that, and go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, I gotta imagine it doesn't surprise me that you love it. It also doesn't surprise me. Like I think I'm not courageous enough, because I think I would live in fear that I'd be the buyer that didn't pick the one item. It's a Cabbage Patch doll. Like who the hell knew that?
It's a lottery, guys. There's no way to know. There's no way to know. And
I don't think I could handle it.
Yeah,
you just gotta you know what it is? You can see it though. What you don't do is you don't listen to the big guys. Yeah, the two in particular, because there's no innovation with those two.
Exactly.
Right? They might be nice people, but there's no innovation. Yep. What you do is you listen to him and all the other guys, the smaller guys, because they tell you, no, look, this is going.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right? You're right, Phil. I mean, there was times like, I know, like, for example, when Trolls came out.
Yeah.
Because Timberlake was in it, everybody was all over. And I looked at all the stuff and I thought, this is the fucking stupidest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I understand trolls, but who cares? First off, it's not new. This is rehashed from a million years ago.
Yeah.
So I bought very little, and it tanked.
Yeah.
It tanked. It totally tanked. Yeah, exactly.
But you know, but people, because you're right. When Star Wars came out, when they did the 4th, 5th, and 6th, which is really the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, I guess.
Yeah.
They have the stupid numbers like that, but whatever.
The original. You're talking about the original set,
not
right?
the original. Yeah, so not the original 3, which is really 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
The second one, which is 1, 2, and 3.
1, 2, and 3.
But when those came out, we had in the stores. I remember packed to the ceilings. Nothing sold. The Sith one or whatever the hell those ones were, or Darth Maul, but it was crazy, right?
It's crazy, and it's like, yeah, the entertainment can give you, like, the entertainment calendar can give you a bit of tunnel vision, you know, and it's supposed to work, and I don't know,
theory,
it's a crystal, it's a crystal ball business. I think the most important thing is, like, you need to know how to be nimble, you need to know how to get up when it doesn't work, and you need to be learning and listening, you know, and really understanding, like, yeah,
you guys are tough.
It's tough.
You guys are tough. Like, you know, you'd have children going, these toys suck, right? Like, I'd be crying. Like, I
know. No, totally. Totally. I mean, the one good thing about our business, so back, like, you guys remind me that I totally forgot what the question was. But yeah, I mean, we're in the adult space, right? So at least with an adult, it's a little bit more, I find it a bit more reachable. You could speak to them. You can reach out to the fan. You know, we're using some data now and survey software to power some of our decisions, which, you know, is new for us. But you can speak to someone,
right?
Yeah, it's rational. So like, you could see the fan base is there, you know, and you can I find it's a bit easier with adults. But games, I mean, you go to Target, there's 60 feet of games right now. It's like, how do you stand out? How do you stand out on that shelf? So, you know, packaging, fine, but it's overwhelming when you go there. So people are just,
that's all games, right? We've got it, like, because my daughter, because that age group games, right? Yeah. But she took me to, like, a game store.
Yeah.
There was 60 feet of adult games.
It's
not games, like, just strictly adult. You're thinking, what are these? See, this is why I want, because I'm thinking, okay, you've been in this long enough, so you're smart enough to know that it's a shitty industry, in the sense that it's really hard to do. So what you do is you choose to go into it when you already know that you shouldn't do that.
Yeah,
so I'm trying to understand, why are you doing
that? Thank you, Kenny. So, you know, it's good because I might have not even gone to that tonight. You know, I'm looking at the clock. I'm like, am I going to get, like, is it going to go there? Right? But, like,
you can go wherever you want. Just go.
He knows. Yeah. He knows. No. He knows it's a crazy industry, and the people in it are addicted to it. It's a drug, right? So 100%. It's a drug because it's a complete drug because it kills you, right? Like having to reinvent yourself every year is killer, right? And then, even when it's a success, okay, so what does that look like? You get a 5-year run. Like, I mean, that's amazing, right? But you know, so I mean, why it's so tough? You don't know what's going to work, and like I said before, you kind of have three weeks a year to sell your product. You know, you have to have a serious marketing budget behind you, and then I don't know if other industries are like this, but there's a massive knockoff effect that happens as well.
Not like this industry. Not like
no,
this.
It's crazy. It's everyone's all over everyone.
The only other one I could think is electronics, right? So electronics is the only other one that knocks off the way.
And the thing is, this is faster just because this is because it's plastics and less componentry.
Yeah.
It's fast. So, like, literally at the show, if you show something at the show that's going to be coming up, even let's say next month, the chances are 10 other people or next month have the same thing.
Look at exactly, like, they can like, to knock off a molecule in a drug, you know, takes a competitor 8 weeks from the time they figure it out. So I can see a game, like, you know,
it's a mold.
Like a week of thinking, you know, like a week of thinking and mucking around, and you're gone, right?
You're there. So the key is speed to market, right? So that forces you to, first of all, I'm crazy like that. Kenny, I don't know if you know this, but I'm, like, really nuts like that. Like, I used to sleep in my showroom in Hong Kong. It was bad. Like, I would sleep with the product, you know, like I'm a bit delirious like that. But anyways, and, like, I'm very tight with my decks and who I show. And
you have to,
you know, you have to be, you know, I used to show behind a curtain. Okay, you know, don't share this with that person.
Yeah.
But so it forces. So what I would do, my best defense has always been speed, right? So don't listen to anyone.
I see why you guys are in this industry. I get it now.
It's
fun. All right.
It's fun. It's fun. It's a rush. So I would always rush stuff to market, like in a good way, right? So make sure that you cover the big three retailers, get the product to them first, and that's your best protection you can do, and don't let anything else come in your way. But the other issue with that is that, you can't go slow and build it extremely right for the fans, in my opinion, because there's so many gatekeepers, right? So if you have a licensor, right? So if you're working with a Disney or you're working with whoever, they have their rules and requirements, right? And then you've got the retailer rules and requirements that you've got to hit, right? And especially in gaming, so you guys might not realize it, but let's say you want to do cards. Let's say the customer is looking for like aggressive cards or very funny cards that are a little bit more inappropriate. Sometimes the retailer will come in and tell you, can you change your cards for my stores? Can you do this? So it gets like just crazy, and you're bending over backwards all to kind of secure that shelf space.
But when it's a Target, Walmart, or Costco, guess what you're doing?
Oh, you're changing the card.
You're changing
100%. Every time, every time, and with pleasure, right? Like I mean, these guys are the ones that allow us to reach millions of people a year, right? I mean,
so whatever.
Exactly.
Well, then you sell the really racy ones on your website, limited edition,
or the game shops all over the place that'll take right?
Yeah,
100%.
Totally. Yeah. And so that's that. So why we're in, I think like it sounds corny, but like why I'm in it, I can only explain one way. And it's like literally to like bring some newness to people and make them smile, and it sounds really corny, but like, otherwise I don't know why anyone's in it, because it's not the easiest place to make money. No. That's for sure. No. Yeah. So that's the true, I think that's the true reason. And I think I always enjoyed like creating as a kid, like I always had like people come over and, play games and stuff. So yeah.
I can see though, like you're also coming into like this summer. I gotta imagine that, I don't know if you guys have leaned in, but it feels like the jokers and the hot ones, Truth or Dab, like the summer is going to be ripe for that, right? Like they're party games. They're about people getting together.
Totally.
And like, and I think because we've all been, hunkered down for so long, that like the early days, it'll be like, hey, let's get together for a drink. And then it's going to be like, no, we got to do stuff, right? Because we don't know when they're going to lock us down again. We got to get out. Like, let's do some shit, right? Like, and
totally.
So the games, like your games, I think
that's
really
a hard bet though, because Casey will probably tell you the general rule: you don't do shit in the summer,
right?
Because so what the time. But COVID has really made that a mess too, because now maybe you can.
Exactly. Now you can. People are getting together. They want to play.
Making me anxious.
Together.
I'm going to need to go drink something for anxiety.
No, it's crazy.
It's great.
It really is. Yeah, it's Q4 or nothing in the toy industry, but basically, so what we've done to actually change that is we have a collaboration with Hasbro right now and WowWee Toys. Kenny, you probably know WowWee Toys.
Yeah.
So we're doing, because of the seasonality in the business, we were really looking for a spring business to add to stable out the year. And we partner with Hasbro and WowWee, and we're doing a whole line of like outdoor kids water items. So imagine. Cool. Yeah, we're taking their games portfolio. So imagine Twister, but you plug in a hose to it, and it sprays like a water mask.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Just no brainer, like a complete no brainer.
Those are fun.
That's not a kid's game anymore.
Yeah,
that's an adult game.
It could be an adult game.
Go play a video for the kids inside. Like the adults are playing this one. Like
Totally. And so we have that. We're working with their portfolio. We have an operation game where it's like a sprinkler type game too, which is really cool. And then innovating on their Super Soaker line. We made one item that's insane. I'll send it to you guys after. And by the way, it's all coming out now, so it's public. But basically, it's called a Robo Blaster. You plug this thing. Basically, what we did is we took a turret sprinkler. You know the sprinklers that go.
Yeah.
We encased it in a blaster shell. Okay, so you plug this thing into your hose. It essentially becomes like a machine gun that's trying to shoot you. Okay, and we put 2 targets on it so that when you shoot down the targets, you actually disable the blaster. So it's like an automated enemy for the kid in the backyard.
That's amazing. I want to play that. Screw the kids. I want that.
Oh, it's gonna blow up, that thing, So really excited about that.
Let me ask you one thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me pick up on one thing before you go too far. Because one thing you did say is that one of the things that's really critical, especially for the small guys, is speed to market, right? And getting things out there and getting them in front of the buyers, et cetera, et cetera. I want you to try to, or tell me, because I haven't talked to anybody in the toy industry about this. what the impact of supply chain, the containers, the shipping costs, etc. How are you? What are you doing? How are you managing that? Or is it a problem, or are you guys just coasting through no issues?
So definitely. So a couple of things. One, the first area of problems is the raw material prices that have gone up, right? So plastics went up, everything went up in China, which was the first issue. You know, and you know how it is, Kenny. You're selling so far in advance. Yep. In the toy industry, we're selling a year in advance, so you're getting your cost, your price. You're giving your pricing to the retailer, but then your cost goes up. You know, so you're screwed. We're lucky in the sense, and we weathered that storm pretty well because we work with a lot of retailers out of FOB China, so they pick up the goods from us in China. And those bigger retailers, you know, do such volume with the big guys that their rates didn't change that much, I guess, that they didn't come back to us for much there. Yeah.
Wow,
so we were lucky with that. But I think where COVID really hurt us is when you're launching a new product and you know, as you see, there's so many new SKUs you're launching a year, but try launching a new product. You can't go to the factory. You can't speak to your factory in 2 years in person and touch and feel. It just makes everything really slow. Like, you know, Kenny, when you're in China, you can do in one day what would take you 6 years, you know? So,
well, if you don't have somebody there who can walk the factory, because you know, the classic 2 words over there, no problem.
Yeah, exactly.
And no problem just means big problem coming.
Big problems. I know.
Big problems. So, because no problem means, oh shit.
That's it. And even in China, I find that the travel was really limited within China. So, you know, it was hard to get people in the factories for sure.
That's a tough gig. That's because I don't think people appreciate that what the Chinese do over there in the factories is pretty incredible. Like they're not what everybody thinks they are. Most of them are beyond high tech. They're very clean.
Yeah.
You know, people appear really happy. It's really not what I think a lot of people think, but you still have to be there. And the only really way to make sure your quality control is high is by having your agents or whoever you're hiring to be in there on a regular basis. But if they're not allowing people in the factories, or if COVID is knocking people out and you're bringing inexperienced in, your QC can go right to hell pretty fast.
Totally. It's become, you know, even more apparent that you just need the right partner overseas. Like it's fully trusting them on what's going on at this point. Like you if you have a choice between, you know, a new factory that you've never worked with before but looks good on paper, or someone you know who's done the job for you before but might be even X% more expensive, you're going with that guy. Yeah, there's no threat of I'm getting on an airplane in 2 days to come and see you anymore. You know, it's not possible. I heard at one point, I think the quarantine was like 10 days in the government facility, and that was per region in China. So like you'd have to just land there, wait 10 days in this quarantine government facility, and then get into one region and then quarantine again to go into another region. So it just wasn't a starter. It wasn't even a possibility.
No, it wasn't. You got to be gone for 3-4 months before you.
I would. Yeah.
We know a lady. Her parents were sick, so she went home, but she had to cut through 4 regions to get to where she wanted to go. So she was like, okay, so I'm gone for 40 days. Are you guys okay if I just take leave? And the company said to her, no, sorry, you can't do that. She'd been there 15 years, you know, with the same company, and she said, okay, so I'm just gonna quit, right? Because it's 40 days there. I'm gonna care for them for another 40 days, and then, you know,
it's gonna take me 40 days to get
it's gonna take me 40 days to get back. I'll just reapply in another year, and then if you haven't filled my job yet, I'll just come back, right? Like,
strange times for sure.
Yeah.
The one thing that's like been kind of nice, I think, is like all these video calls. You know, like I find it's really, like, I don't know, in a way we're farther but also closer all at the same time.
It's kind of weird. It's just not the same closeness. I'd rather see you, right? I like the person thing, right? I'm not
100%.
It gets tiring after a while.
I know, like when you see, you know, I took one trip to New York just to see everyone. It felt good, you know, like, and you forget about COVID in 2 seconds. Like the second you're there, it's just like you're like, it feels normal, you know.
Which I think we're all looking for too, right?
I know.
That's kind of crazy.
We need it. I know.
So what's next for you now?
Craziness.
What's going on now?
So it's always what's next in the toy industry, and that's the problem, right? So right now, like actively right now, I'm working on fall 2023. So that's Christmas of 2023. And I'm selling spring of 23 at the same time, and also doing production of Christmas of 2022.
Right.
So it's nuts. So Christmas of 2022, you can't see on our website right now. We're doing a game with Clueless. So you guys know the Clueless movie?
Yeah.
It's a great movie, Alicia Silverstone, and that vintage stuff is great. So it's like a girls' night in type game, and we're really pumped about it. Have a great sell-in, and then we're also very exciting doing 2 Call of Duty party games. So
we cool.
said, wow, it's insane. So we're working with Activision. You saw Activision just got bought by Microsoft, which is really exciting. $68 billion.
The number was insane.
No, it's insane. It's insane. It's literally like, it's arguably the biggest IP in the toy aisle. So we were working with them. Okay, COVID happened. Everyone went online. They were on Warzone playing with their squad. Right. What does it look like when COVID's over and they want to get together in real life? And how do they party together? So
how cool is that?
Oh, how cool is that?
Fun. It's fun. So we we have 2 concepts, and it's interesting, right? To fuse party with Call of Duty, right? So it's not like strategy, right? So that's been really cool, and the people at Activision are amazing. So really pumped to launch that, and just you look at their fan base. I mean, they have their 20 years history, across all their properties, and like 500 million players, like downloads.
It's insane.
It's nuts. It's insane. It's so really I'm really excited to get that in and just start playing with people.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's coming. So yeah, we definitely we punch a bit above our weight, but make no mistake, it's a grind. Like it's a real grind every day. And it's stressful. These projects, like keeping track of them. I would say the biggest challenge is people, right? So and we have the best team, but building that team and trying to scale it, because the toy industry forces you to scale by having all these SKUs, right? So you need people who can, everyone only has 2 arms, so you need people who can handle the projects, and it's been the biggest surprise to me in business is how much people management there is, and I love it, but it's tough.
Okay, if you need any help, you got the 2 of us. We'll help you. Not a light lifting, very light. We're not heavy lifters.
Really? Okay, good.
Light lifters.
I'm not sure. I feel like now. No. Here's the thing: is I think I could handle it, but I worry that I hang around the 2 of you in real life, and I will never actually see reality the way it is anymore. Like you guys are gonna suck me into this world, and then it'll just and.
And what? Who cares?
God,
you got to go for the ride.
It's a ride. It's literally like I said, it's like a drug or something.
Yeah, I buy it. I understand this. So I that's what worries me.
yeah, it worries me too.
Yeah,
it worries me too.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. It really is. It's just a lot of fun because it's so fast.
It's fast, and when you see the right innovation, you're like, shit, that's smart. And like you're just like, that's so great. You know what I mean? It's cool, but there's a lot of junk out there. There's a lot of laziness that happens in the toy industry too. Like stuff that comes out, you're just like, hey, this is boring.
Yeah, been there, done that 50 times.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So that's what's up for us. I mean, I think like our overall mission is like we're here to like entertain people, however that can be. Right now, how we know how to do that is physical games in a box, right? At retail, right? So that's like normally $20 retail, $5 cost or $6 cost, right? But eventually, like for Wilder and us, like I think, we're not opposed to one day having escape rooms or things like that, or like just building out the mission, because it's really just about taking any experience and how do we add like our flavor to it, Right. But right now, this is how we know how to do it.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I mean, like your games also lend themselves to like escape room, but also like kind of those cafes where you do a lot of board gaming.
Yeah,
things like that. It's
once
pretty
we get back to normal.
Yeah.
Totally. We got to get back to normal. It's been really hard for the cafes, obviously over COVID. But yeah, those cafes are awesome. Like even like we've discovered some stuff at the cafes here, and in the States, they have some good chains. They have some good chains in Toronto, actually. Snakes and Lattes. I don't know if you know it.
Yeah. If you're ever in the okay, so when we get back to normal, if they're still around, the up in Markham where all the Chinese are, they've taken it like to a whole new level. So you bring in your games. You bring in your games. They have games there, and then they open a tab, and then they just do like Chinese, little starters. So like people will stay all afternoon. Like, so I think the one time I did it, I'd never done it before. We were with some friends from Hong Kong, and they're, oh, you got to come. But like, this is not, we're not going to just have coffee. So you got to plan to stay for like 6 hours. And my wife and I were like, all right, fine. We'll bail after 3, but it'll be fine. We were there like 8 hours, right? Easy. Like, cause it was just like, you get in, you get a milk tea, you start playing a game. First we started easy. We started playing euchre, and then we started all these other card games, and we started board games, and then they found another board game, like 4 hours in, we started a Settlers of Catan game, and you're like, you're having agadashi tofu, and then like 30 minutes later, you're like, I'm feeling kind of nauseous. Like, how about some dumplings? Like, it's just ridiculous, right? Like,
count me in.
Yeah.
That sounds
we'll do that for sure. Like,
hey, count me in too, eh?
I'll take you.
Yeah.
Don't forget about me in the West Coast.
You have to get on a plane for that,
Yeah, I'm like a hop, skip, and a jump from him.
I so the hell want to get on planes right now. I miss traveling.
I know, me too. Me too. I do too. I miss it too.
That's right, man. I told you, we booked 2 trips in the last month. 4 this month, practically. Like, on top of each other, we were so desperate to get out.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't blame you. And yeah, it's exciting, but it's a little bit crazy, But we'll do it. The game board cafes are sweet, and it's interesting though. Like, I think if you were a betting man like 20 years ago to think that games would be hot today, I mean, at least me, I wouldn't have thought they were going to be this hot. Like, I really would not have guessed that. Yeah,
there's a million things I never thought would have been as stupid as collectibles out of control.
Right.
Gaming out of control. The amount of television we've watched, like, I shit you not, we are on to D and E type movies on Netflix and Prime. Like, the shit we are watching now really should never have been made.
Yeah. No, I
like, it's that bad. But we've run out.
I can't watch that stuff. I always Rotten Tomato anything before I watch it. I can't.
Oh my god, I got nothing left.
I'm like that too. I can't.
I know.
I got nothing left. There's no tomatoes. I got nothing. We're down to that level.
But you know what's surprising? Like, so the kids, right? Like the 15-year-old and the 14-year-old, where like my 20-year-old he's all in on the digital side. Like, everything's social media, everything. These kids have gone backwards, right? Like, so the 15-year-old and her friends, they trade audio messages. So they literally record audio messages and send them. So they're over the texting thing. They don't, they do a handful of texts, but really they would much rather talk to each other. And like, it's really surprising, right? Like, to me, I kind of go, what? Wait, I thought you guys, and they're just like, this is much easier. Like, I don't, texting, I gotta figure out all this vocabulary.
For lack of a better word.
Yeah, they are. They're essentially leaving voicemails for each other, right?
So like, instead of phoning each other, they're talking.
But to me, that's like a whole. that's like we it's like the elastic, right? Like, you hit the end, and you're going backwards now, and so you kind of like add that with things like board games and how popular they're becoming, and it's
I know
we're just taking a step back, right?
You're right. Like, everyone always said, oh, no one's going to talk anymore. It doesn't matter how you talk, it matters how you type. Yeah, it's true. I actually never really thought about that again. But I find, like, even like you look at podcasting, like, I don't know, maybe I'm off on this, but like, podcasting is a little bit like radio, and like, it's
100%.
like
totally like radio.
Yeah.
Right. It's like gone back too, right? Because even radio like dropped off and majorly, right?
Yeah.
But look at all the stuff. Books were falling apart. Now people are reading books again.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Podcasting, to your point, who's listening to radio? And people like who podcast think, oh, it's a dead medium. This is radio.
No,
this is it.
This is it. Yeah. This is what they used to do.
But this is it's more customized radio, right? I guess
customized radio.
And the attraction is that you can customize the advertising that goes with it, which you can't do with radio,
thereof.
right? So or lack thereof. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Totally. Yeah. Totally. Yeah. It's fascinating. Circular.
It is.
Casey.
Times, though.
Thank you for joining us.
We
really, really enjoyed this.
Nice catching up, guys.
I'm sorry to keep you up so late too, but tough.
Yeah. Well, we'll do it. We'll do another catch up, Kenny. Just to and but it's good, and hopefully in person. I mean, I'd love
to catch up. I don't mean if you want to Zoom, fine, but ideally, it'd be nice one of these times.
Yeah. If you guys are going somewhere, you tell me. I'll be there too. Like, we should do our next podcast in a gaming cafe.
Sure, I would love it.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
That would be
go to
amazing.
Montreal then. You know what?
I know.
Listen,
I know.
My son's in Ottawa, so like I get to Ottawa, and I'm a little bit over from you. Like honestly, I'll be there.
Ottawa's
I go to
right
Montreal
here.
in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
In a heartbeat.
We'll make something happen. It's terrible. It's terrible. Like, I don't see anyone. I don't see anyone. It's really awful. It's
no.
We'll come rescue you from the children.
We'll come see you first. Then we'll see your brother maybe.
Yeah.
Jacques,
he's out of control. You know.
You first.
Anyways, good to see you guys. But no, we'll do a real catch up. That's more
good.
of a
I'd love to
two-way conversation. But all right, guys, we'll see you soon.
Go do your thing, buddy.
Take care, Casey.
Take care. Have a good night.
Thanks.
Take care.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Ciao. It's a cool industry. It's a cool industry. I'm telling you.
I think
when I start talking to him, I get all excited again.
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved buying it. I loved going to the shows. I loved going to the showrooms. I loved looking at all the cool shit. Oh man, it was just a hoot.
Yeah.
You get to be a child again. It's so much fun.
No, I actually buy it. I think the part that it's you two, right? Like I think you guys would get so excited and I get caught up in it, and next thing
you'd be all over it.
It's the same reason I don't think I can go to a closeout show with you, because I feel like
we should do a closeout.
No,
we'd buy like madmen.
No, this is the thing. It's like looking at a cult and going, I don't want to go in there. Well, maybe I'll go have a peek, right? Like,
you know what we should do? We should do the next closeout show. We should go just to see. But you know, we'll go.
I don't trust you at all. I have zero faith in you, young man.
We're going to do rules. We're going to have X amount of money. That's it. Yes, and we're going to stay to that.
Listen,
trust me.
If you're a listener and you're still listening to us, we'd really appreciate it if you became a patron, because Kenny's going to make us bankrupt.
Oh my God, you got to do it.
Like, when is the next closeout show?
I don't know. ASD shows used to be, nowish, like in March, and we used to go in the summer as well. ASD Las Vegas.
ASD Las Vegas, Feb 27th, March 2nd.
And the next one? What's the summer? The summer one's okay too.
Oh my God, I'm so scared.
You know what we'll do? We'll make it a trip. We'll bring the wives.
Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, no, I'm scared.
You can't spend when the wives are
I'm scared. This is what I'm telling you.
That's why we bring the accountants with us.
No, that's terrible. It just means I'm going to get yelled at more. That's all.
No, because we'll be nice poolside, nice. No. You're such a chicken shit, man. Holy moly.
No, I'm not chicken at many things. I just know that this is one of those, right?
I got control.
This is like you coming with me to the Consumer Electronics Show.
No, how do you think that would
go? How do you think that would go? Right?
Yeah, that's the difference. See, that's all full retail different. This is closeouts.
Yeah, no, it's the same. No,
see how different? You know, no, it's totally different.
No, it's totally the same. Wait, I'm only getting the one show.
Oh, there used to be two.
I know, but I'm only pulling one show. I'll have a look and see what we can. Or maybe I won't have a look.
No,
I just won't tell
now.
you.
You always play internet when we're doing podcasts. I'm going to play it too.
Yeah, I'm scared.
No, got to do it.
And then anyway, if you're still listening and you want to come with us, you should tell us.
Oh, that'd be another thing. Holy
we'd love it. We'd love it. The boss might be retired by the second show, so she might want to come.
Oh yeah, the boss is almost done.
The boss is almost done.
We'll have to have her back on when she figures out.
Yeah, we'll as soon as she's done, we should have her back on.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it. Yeah,
that's it. I got nothing else for you either.
Yeah. Thank you.
No,
that was a great episode.
That was fun. I knew you'd like them. I mean, it's hard not to. I mean, and honestly, it's just I don't know. It's just such a different world.
Yeah.
Right. So no, it's cool. Yeah. We should have Steve back on too. See what Steve Rad's doing.
Yeah. I mean, he's gearing up for the toy show too, right?
No, got canceled. Remember?
I thought it was virtual.
Yeah, it's virtual now. I guess. Virtual.
Yeah.
Different.
Yeah. But he'll have stuff he wants to show off too. So.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, I'll ping him later. And
Yeah.
Come back on.
Awesome.
Okay, that's it.
All right.
I'll probably chat with you tomorrow.
Yeah.
And for everybody else.